My gift is sharing knowledge. I love seeing the light come on when someone is learning. I fell in love with the process of teaching. That's why I teach 313. Teach in Detroit. Educate. Grow. Elevate.
You guys can give that an applause. So it's so inappropriate for me to say, but isn't that teacher badass? So I want to just welcome you here. I am so excited about the future of our city. This is an example of different sectors coming together to work alongside our teachers, to rally behind them, and to make sure that they feel appreciated. The one thing I'm sure about the city of Detroit is this, is that we are talent rich. It inspires me, it makes me hopeful. And by focusing on teachers, it is my opinion that what we do is create a talent dividend with an exponential return. So I have said this on many occasions, and I want to say it today. The future of Detroit and the future of Detroit's children are inextricably intertwined. As our city works to become a place of prosperity for all, for families and communities to thrive, there is no more important role to achieving our future and preparing our young people to succeed in schools than our teachers. So teachers define, in my opinion, the character, the caliber, and the future of our community. They do it individually with our students, and most importantly, they prepare the successors of our city. That's why I'm incredibly enthusiastic about launching the Teach 313 initiative. It is a talent initiative that celebrates Detroit's teachers, focusing on retention, recruitment, quality of life, and professional development. The Skillman Foundation is really proud to be a founding partner of Teach 313, but we are not alone. There are so many people who are embracing, supporting, and lifting our teachers up, and some of them are here today. So I just want to thank and give a, maybe I won't. I want to thank and give a nod to all of our schools, our school leaders here, our school districts here who work to attract and support teachers. I also want to give a nod to our unions and our statewide associations who do so much work for teachers, and we don't even always acknowledge that. I also want to tell you that this work, this idea of celebrating our teachers came from teachers, and it came from the work of the Coalition for the Future of Detroit School Children. So I want to give a special shout out to our teacher leadership team for the Coalition, who was adamant about making sure that we lifted up teachers, that we celebrated these heroes who worked for us. So I want to thank them. I want to thank the steering committee. I particularly want to thank Punitha Thurman at the Skillman Foundation and Ivy Bailey at the Detroit Federation of Teachers. And Jim Hayes, who really inspired this idea so many years ago. But most importantly, what we need to do today is to thank our teachers. So will you join with me in doing so? So Teach 313 will do many things, but I think one of the most important things it will do is increase our city's spirit and our appreciation for teachers. It is time for us to celebrate the heroes that live among us and who spend their days in classrooms. The second thing is that we're going to share the real life stories of our teachers, what it's like to be a teacher in the 313. We're going to create portals for information to apply to teach in Detroit so that we can make sure every child in the city of Detroit has a qualified leader sitting in front of them. And then we're going to try and make the lives of teachers better by providing discounts and incentives, which you'll hear more about from our partners today with General Motors and Quicken Loans. Now, lastly, I want to say we are committed to making Detroit the best city in America for teachers. We are committed to make Detroit the best city for teachers in the country. And that for me means all teachers, early childhood teachers, teachers that teach at Detroit Public Schools Community District, and teachers who are teaching at our charter schools. We all have to celebrate every single teacher, and we need to make sure that they are feeling appreciated in their classroom and that we can retain them in their classrooms for decades to come. Our success as a city will be dependent on the outcomes of our children. And this is just one way we're going to make sure that that happens. So I'm really pleased now to introduce Jack Elsey, who is the Executive Director of the Detroit Children's Fund, who is an integral partner helping to develop Teach 313, who will share more information with you. Jack.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for your leadership in this effort, and good morning, everybody. Isn't this like the greatest thing ever? Celebrating teachers? At the Detroit Children's Fund, our goal is to make Detroit the best place to raise your family. And to us, that means a quality school for every child in the city. And we know that from the second we enter school, teachers have the most profound impact in our lives. So like my high school English teacher, Mr. Thompson, who made me love books for the first time in my life, we can all point to those teachers who really make our lives better, who make us strive for more. And right now in Detroit, we know that there aren't enough teachers. So we're all here to do something about that today. As a former educator, I understand firsthand the need to have a great teacher in every classroom. That's why the Detroit Children's Fund is focused on teacher and leader development and supporting quality schools. That's why I'm excited about all of our partners coming together today to do this meaningful work. Thanks to this unprecedented public-private partnership, we're taking steps toward offering teachers the quality of life they deserve. There's no other place offering incentives in the entire country at this level but the city of Detroit. So if you're a teacher and you're passionate about your work and you're not currently teaching in Detroit, we want you in Detroit. Teach 313 is a step toward making Detroit the best city in America for teachers, as Tanya said. For months, we've had a team working behind the scenes to launch Teach 313. When we began, where we began and what this has become over that amount of time has been nothing short of awe-inspiring. I want to thank Chanel Hampton and her team at Strategic Community Partners for quarterbacking this work. Please give her a round of applause. General Motors and Quicken Loans for investing in the future of Detroit school children. Saga Marketing for their compelling work. You saw the video, you see the posters around you today. Thank you, Eric Thomas from Saga and his team. Without any of these folks and so many more, we would not be here today. Additionally, as a national recruitment campaign, we've engaged national partners such as Service Year Alliance to engage AmeriCorps alums, top teaching, producing colleges and universities, and historically black colleges and universities from around the country. For months, we've been talking to key stakeholders. Teach 313 is truly influenced and led by, most importantly, our inaugural cohort of Teach 313 educator ambassadors. They're wearing these beautiful t-shirts. Could you all stand, please? Everybody give them a round of applause. These are teachers. Our early childhood and K-12 leadership roundtable from both DPSCD and charter schools, and a cross-sector steering committee of diverse leaders from around the city and state invested in education and committed to making Teach 313 the best campaign that it can be. Today, I'm proud to be standing here in front of you all to welcome in a new era for teachers in Detroit, one where our business community, our elected officials, and our residents have come together to create an environment where teachers can thrive, and in turn, our children can receive a quality education. I'd now like to welcome a man to the podium who saw our vision and has supported us wholeheartedly in this journey. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Mike Duggan.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack. I think it is great that the Skillman Foundation and the Children's Fund and our partners have taken on this initiative. We talk a lot about filling teacher positions. We need to progress from saying we're just trying to fill them to recruiting quality teachers and having a quality teacher in every classroom. And that means not just recruiting. It means treating the very good teachers we already have with respect and retaining those that we have. And that effort, I see representatives of the Michigan Federation of Teachers here, and I want to thank them for an historic development that happened this year that maybe didn't get as much attention as it deserved. But historically at DPSCD, if you had dedicated teachers who might have 5 or 10 years experience in another district and had something in their hearts that they wanted to come to Detroit and help, they ended up starting off at the first level and taking a significant pay cut. We now have a new collective bargaining agreement worked out by Dr. Vitti and the Michigan Federation of Teachers that those teachers can come from other districts, carry that experience with them, and be paid appropriately, which is going to significantly help our ability to recruit the best. But we know that in this country, teachers are not paid what they're worth. And it's true here in the city of Detroit as well. And so what this group has done is come together and say, we may not be able to fix the base salary the way we should right now, but could we as a community come together with ways to not just show appreciation with moral support, but also with financial support? And so earlier this year, the city of Detroit started that at the Detroit Land Bank. And so teachers in schools in the city, both DPSCD and charter, if they buy a house through the city of Detroit Land Bank, they get a 50% discount. And so every day, isn't that great? Every day, you go on your smartphone and look right now, we auction 4 houses at buildingdetroit.org. Starts at 9 in the morning, ends at 5 at night. Some sell for $2,000 or $3,000. Some sell for well over $100,000, depending on the house and the neighborhood. If you are a teacher and you win as the high bidder at $50,000, you end up writing a check for $25,000. You get a 50% discount because you are teaching in our schools. And what you have today is a number of other corporate partners who are saying, we want to show how much teachers are valued. We want to make Detroit an attractive place, the best place for those educators to come who want to teach. And to hear how General Motors is participating in this process, I'm really pleased to welcome the Vice President of GM, Tony Cervone. Tony?
Of course, now he gets the change up there. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Jack and Tanya, thank you very much. We believe at General Motors that the foundation of great education provides the building blocks for a great Detroit. In the last few years alone, we've seen incredible change in our city, due in no small part to the efforts of Mayor Duggan and his team and many other community leaders as well as business leaders in Detroit. We've seen a new Detroit Public Schools community district emerge under the leadership of Dr. Nikolai Vitti, and the Detroit Children's Fund was formed to fundamentally support education in Detroit, and in part to direct and drive funding to increase the supply of qualified and teachers and school leadership. I'm proud to serve on the Detroit Children's Fund board. I'm proud to work with the Skillman Foundation with General Motors. And it's not just the commitment to Detroit that we believe in fundamentally, but I have a personal commitment. My sister is a retired teacher, and I heard for decades the amount of effort and work and commitment that she had day in and day out to her students and to education in general. And I know how much teachers need to be appreciated, not just morally, but need to be appreciated for the efforts that they do and what General Motors is about to do to step in to support this. I know I'm not alone in that commitment. There are countless other efforts from our fellow business leaders, corporate leaders, city officials, residents, and togethers who are championing for Detroit's children. At General Motors, we're excited to take part in the continued momentum by joining Teach 313 effort. we are proud to offer a GM Educator discount, which can save teachers and faculty hundreds, even thousands of dollars off of a new vehicle lease or purchase. Additionally, and importantly, the OnStar Safety and Security Package will soon be made available for free for 2 years exclusively for new Detroit teachers. To my fellow business leaders, we all have a role to play. I ask you to join us today to support our schools, our teachers, our kids, and showcasing all the great reasons Detroit is a wonderful place to learn, to work, and to thrive. So thank you very much. It's my pleasure to introduce Bill Emerson, Vice Chairman of Quicken Loans, fellow DCF board member.
Good morning, everyone. It's phenomenal to see so many people here. When I walked in and saw all these chairs, I'm like, man, this is a serious event. So it's great to see you all here. On behalf of Quicken Loans and the Rock family of companies, it's an honor to be here. Tanya Allen is somebody who's near and dear to my heart. I sit on the Skillman board, and I think of this phrase that she uses often, and so how are the children? And clearly, at the end of the day, what we're here talking about today are children and the impact that teachers have on children and how important teachers really are in the grand scheme of life. Not only in teaching what happens in the schoolroom, but life lessons in general. And I know that firsthand. I'm the son of educators. My father was a teacher and a football coach. So I got raised early on the importance of education and why it was so important to your further development as a human being, not only intellectually, but what you do and how you socially interact with other people. So having the opportunity to be on the board of the Skillman Foundation, the Detroit Children's Fund, has been fantastic for me because I get to see what these organizations do in real time, on the ground, in the community, and the difference that they make. And as the Vice Chairman of Quicken Loans, I get to see every single day what our group, the Quicken Loans Community Fund, does in a variety of facets throughout the community, as well as our 17,000 team members on the ground working every single day. And so when I think about that and I think about this opportunity, it's a fantastic reason for us to be here. We're the largest employer of Detroiters in the city. And we have almost 3,500 team members that live in the city, and they have children that go to school inside of the city. So it's also personally important for us as an organization to participate here. So in alignment with GM, our friends that are doing a great job offering discounts, we are as well going to offer some incentives. At the end of the day, we all know that having a place called home is critically important. And so when teachers are living in this city or deciding whether they want to come to this city, we're going to offer them not only the world-class service that we get, the J.D. Power world-class service, specialized a group of people who will focus solely on their needs from a home financing perspective, but any teacher that's in the city or one that comes in will get $1,000 off of closing costs on any loan that they do with us, an additional $500 back at closing in cash, for a total of $1,500 off of the incentive of refinancing or purchasing a home. Thanks. So that hopefully we make that burden a little bit easier. And as this continues to develop and this program continues to work, we have other people in the family of companies and other ways that we might be able to help out. So we're going to stay dialed in and close to what's going on and making sure that we are as helpful as we can be in this very, very important process of recruiting and retaining the absolute best talent we can anywhere in the country for teachers in Detroit. So I'm going to pass it on to Pastor Larry Simmons from Hope Starts Here to talk about what's going on from that perspective.
So let's see, we've got Tanya Allen, head of a multi-million-dollar foundation. We've got the mayor of the city of Detroit. We've got vice presidents from General Motors, Quicken Loans. What the heck am I doing here? I'm here representing the youth movement and men who once had hair.
I'm with you on that one, brother.
Seriously, there is nothing closer to my heart than the education of our children. I had the special honor to serve on both the steering committee of the Hope Starts Here Coalition for Early Childhood and the Coalition for the Future of Detroit School Children. Over these past 5 years, as we did these deep dives into the education of our kids, I came away not being an educator with what I call an aha. It was literally after hundreds of hours of meetings and talking to experts that a light bulb went off in my head that the whole apparatus that we call education is erected to facilitate what I call the golden moment. That's that moment when a student and a teacher engage one another and that student says, "Ah, I get it." That's the golden moment. And everything, the principal, the building, the landscapers, the custodians, are all there to facilitate that golden moment. And so as a member of the Brightmoor Alliance, the executive director, as the chair of the African Methodist Episcopal Church Social Action Committee for the state of Michigan, as a pastor for 20 years in Brightmoor, one of our students created this shirt out of interaction with that golden moment and a teacher. I'm here to tell you today that this is the first time in my 71 years of political and social action in this city that I have seen the alignment and the commitment to our children in that entire close of the 20th century, and now that we're almost a fifth of the way through the 21st. This is a phenomenal moment, and I think we ought to just give these folks here a great big hand for what they are doing. I have mad respect for teachers. I have mad respect for what they do. I have mad respect for the fact that most of them are spending their own money to augment what they get in the classroom. I have mad respect, not just for the ones in K-12, but for the ones in early childhood. That's school. And there are teachers there, and they are having golden moments with infants and helping them to appreciate the written word. So it is a joy and a pleasure to stand here representing all of the CDOs in the city, the many block clubs, the many churches who are all working to help send the message and to honor all of the teachers of this city and to recognize them and to send the message to all of those who aren't here. You want to come and teach in the 313. You'll be honored, you'll be recognized, and you get recompensed. So it's my honor now to present two of these moment makers. Suki Johal Hunt and Quan Nellums are examples of the kind of quality that exists here and that we're hoping through Teach 313 that we can bring, our golden moment makers.
Good morning. Thank you, Pastor Simmons. I'm Suki Johal Hunt, and I'm an education ambassador for Teach 313. This will be my 12th year teaching at University Preparatory Academy right here in the city of Detroit, a city that I fell in love with when I moved here in 2003. I'm here today because Detroit deserves good teachers. Our kids deserve a good education that allows their voice to be heard in this world. Our kids deserve an education in order to allow them to become world changers. However, we have a serious issue in this city, and that's due to the teacher vacancies. In 2017 and 2018, I believe we had over 1,000 vacancies. Unfortunately, there was a school, I believe at least one, that had no certified teachers, 0 certified teachers in the entire school. Our kids are worthy of a good education. They deserve opportunities that will allow them to do what they love, for the rest of their life if they choose to, or make decisions to move elsewhere. But in order for them to do that, they need to have the tools. We need to also create an equal playing field for our kids as well. Detroit is a phenomenal city, and what Teach 313 is designed to do is to highlight that Detroit is the best city in America. And it should be for teachers. And we will do that through incentives, discounts, policy changes, and create networks. We need the right people to educate, grow, and elevate our kids, but as well our educators. Teach 313 should not only recruit new teachers into our great city, but also retain the amazing talent that is already in our classrooms. Our kids deserve a champion in their corner. They deserve to be encouraged and empowered. Our kids deserve great teachers. Thank you for your time. I would like to introduce my fellow educator ambassador, Quan Nellums.
Thank you, Suki. Good morning, Detroit. Is it too early to say what up, though? What up, though? Yeah, so my name is Quan Nellums. I've been teaching in Detroit for 15 years. And saying it out loud, man, the time goes. Yeah, so I've been teaching for a while. I still believe I'm a young teacher. With that being said, teachers are valuable. In fact, the value that we place on teachers is in correlation to the value we place on students, right? And so it's very important that we treat teachers as being valuable. 20 years ago, I was a freshman in high school. No, I'm sorry, a freshman in college. And I had the opportunity to serve through AmeriCorps in the Brightmoor community. I volunteered at Vitaw Middle School. As a matter of fact, that's where I met my wife, Courtney. And and so with that year of volunteering, I came across very valuable teachers. One in particular was a Mr. Carl Brownlee. To see the relationships that teachers have with students, but not just with the students, but with the community and also with families. See, having everybody come to the table, it does take a village to raise a child. So to have teachers as a very valuable component of that puzzle is very important for us to go out and seek, and very important for us to foster that valuable instinct inside of teachers. And with that being said, Teach 313 is important because not only do, at the least, Teach 313 is going to spark the conversation on how do we value teachers. But it's going to go beyond, as we see today, the conversation is going to actually put into action and show just how valuable teachers are in Detroit. So for those teachers who are in Detroit, I'll say, we may not be there yet as far as feeling our value, but it's coming. Today sparks a movement where we're going to see that value and why we're valuable. For those who don't live in Detroit yet and you're thinking about coming to Detroit to teach, I'll say it again, what up, though? Come to Detroit. It's the best place. I've been here for 15 years. I've lived there all my life. It's the best place to feel valued. It's the best place to make a change. It's the best place to make a difference in the lives of our community. Thank you.
The mayor was sitting on my shirt. He tucked me into the chair. So anyway, I want to thank you all today for coming and for celebrating our teachers. I hope you feel as excited as I feel about our teachers. I hope that you'll get an opportunity to speak with all of our educators, our teacher ambassadors, and all of them are awesome. And what is so great about them is that they are just examples of all of the awesome teachers that are come to our schools every single day. And these teachers, like all of us, pretended when they were children that they were superheroes. Some of us were like Superman, I was Wonder Woman. There were a lot of us, but there were a ton of people who pretended to be super people as well, and they were pretending to be teachers. The difference between them and us is that they actually became those superheroes as adults. So join with us, Detroit. Let's celebrate our teachers.